Amataweld, which is basically the Levantine Arabic way of the one phrase I know in Levantine Arabic of like good health, good life. Yes, so I want to have a little bit of a chatty, like, I'm going to make some pomegranates, by the way, but just like a chatty video, just discussing like different fruits that I don't really think are as good, like kiwis versus pomegranates. Like, I know kiwis are a real fruit, but do you ever feel like they're a fake fruit? There's something fake about kiwis. What's fake about the kiwi? Well, maybe not like a homegrown kiwi. Let me just like put it out there. I've never had a really good kiwi fruit. Like I just haven't. Like I had one that I kind of liked when I was a kid, but then after that, and this is kind of the problem with any like store bought fruit. It's just it never hits the spot. It just doesn't. Like these actually, somebody brought these pomegranates to me. They were off their tree. They're really good, but sometimes even store bought pomegranates aren't quite as good. They're okay. They're good, but I'll say even a store-bought pomegranate is going to be hands above a store-bought kiwi. Kiwis are kind of overpriced for what they are. I'm like, they're kind of overrated. And then I start to think, I'm not saying that kiwis are, like, I know they're a real fruit, but they just feel fake because they don't have a really good flavor to them. And they're fuzzy on the inside, and you don't get a lot, like, so, like, my experience with the kiwi is not the best. Like, I'm just like, I think kiwis are overrated. That's just my opinion. I don't think the kiwi fruit's that good. Like, but I love pomegranate. Pomegranate. It is what it says it is. It's just it. Like, if I could be a fruit, I think I'd be a pomegranate. That's what I'd be. What fruit would you be? Pomegranate's always like satisfying. You eat some of it, it has a wonderful flavor. They're a little messy, but they have so much to them, so much substance. I don't know. A kiwi just, like, commercially grown kiwis. Anyway, I just sometimes think of funny plays on words for you guys. Sometimes when I'm cutting a fruit. And, yeah, really good. I wasn't sure if they were still good, but kiwis don't keep as long either. Like pomegranate, if you put it in your crisper, they keep for like a long time. Like I've had these for like over a month, and they're still like, you can store them, and then when you're ready to cut them up, like this one's still pretty good. And I think I'm not gonna puree them anymore. Like I thought at first, like that was fun, and it looks really beautiful, but I think maybe they're just good, and then they're so expensive. Like when you go to buy a pomegranate, like just a de-seeded pomegranate, it's a lot of money. So if you have pomegranates, but I am gonna have to clean. I almost think everybody needs a barrier because I don't want things to get on stuff. I'm kind of worried. I don't know. Last time I still have some pomegranate stains on the ceiling that I have to clean. Pomegranates are kind of like a job. It's kind of like brushing your kitchen's teeth. Those red tablets that when you're a kid you have to eat to see like where the plaque is. I feel like it's a good excuse to clean your kitchen. Now you can't have that experience with a kiwi. They're overpriced too. Like you just get a little bit. It's not that flavorful, and I always feel like like people will say, and that's another thing, just another critique I have the kiwi. People are like, the kiwi is so refreshing. I kind of feel like I don't want to sound like negative towards, like, I like to be a positive person, but I just feel like people say refreshing a lot. Like, oh, this is so refreshing. Or why don't you just say energize? Like, can we think of like a new word or concept for conveying that meaning? Because I just feel like sometimes refreshing is overused. It's kind of becoming dull to hear people say refreshing sometimes. I don't know. That's just a reaction I have to the word refreshing. I was reading like a description, like, because I Googled it. I genuinely want to know why, like, people love kiwis. Like, I'm like, what is the big attraction? Because I don't know, my mom and I, we kind of agreed, like, we talked about it, that we didn't really like kiwis that much. I'll tell you the fruit that's even worse than a kiwi, though. Dragon fruit. That thing is overpriced. I bought a dragon fruit at Sprouts, $6, and it tasted like water. So I could have just bought a watermelon, an off-season watermelon, and had a slightly better experience. I don't even like watermelon that much. I think I like fruits, like even though there is water in the pomegranate, it just has more flavor to it. You know, more substance. I'm more about the substance. Even strawberries, I like strawberries. I have a lot of opinions about fruit. Okay. So occasionally I'll buy strawberries, but unless you're going to eat them all at once, like you'll need to make them all at once because they start going bad really quick. I kind of like fruits that keep longer. Like I love apples. Like the apples off my mom's tree are absolutely the best. But I wonder if I still have an apple. I could show you. I haven't been prepping as much fruit lately because I kind of in a mood to eat fruit today. Like I just haven't been making as much fruit. But one way that I really like apple, I'll try to make it more beautiful, is like with almond butter. And these apples are not like my favorite of all time, but I've had the apples in my crisper for a couple months and they haven't gone bad either. Whereas like a kiwi would feel mushy. And I did buy, look, I tried again. I tried the kiwi fruit again back in August. Like in late August, I tried the kiwi fruit, you know. Is the kiwi fruit going to be better? It was a disappointment again. It just was. It was so disappointing. Yeah. It was so disappointing. And then I started thinking, like, is there something wrong with me that I don't love kiwis and other people love kiwis? I started thinking, not really. You just don't like kiwis. You know, that's it. Sometimes we don't like the things that everybody else likes. And just because people are like, ooh, like, okay, I'll give you this. A kiwi is really good in a fruit salad. But I think a little bit of pomegranate would be better. I don't know. I don't want to pay a lot of money for kiwi. So kiwi is just one fruit I just don't want to buy. Just like cantaloupe. My dad loves cantaloupe. Like, I don't know. He just cantaloupe this, cantaloupe that. And he would salt the cantaloupe. And I thought that was so gross. Like, do not put salt on watermelon or cantaloupe. You ruin it. Because if I'm eating fruit, I actually want it to taste sweet. I don't want to taste salt. It's disgusting. Like, and you would, if there was ever a watermelon or cantaloupe, which I don't even love that much, near him, the salt would just happen to like leap onto it, and I'd be like, "You made it worse." And he's like, "What's so tasty like that?" I'm like, "No, it is not. Not tasty to me. Not to my palate. If I want something salty, I'll eat something that's salty, but I'm not a fan of cantaloupe either." So, like, yeah, I rarely buy a watermelon. I'm not the biggest fan of watermelon. I like pomegranate. I love banana. Lately, I haven't been on as much of a fruit. Oh, yeah, I was going to show you what I did with the apple. But, like, today I'm kind of craving fruit because I think I feel better when I eat fruit. But the problem is I don't always take the time to prep the fruit. But fruit's good. It's so much better than, like, all the sweets. During the holidays, they're like, here's a sweet. You want some sweets? And then come January, it's this vicious cycle promoted by who? The diet industry. That you should just eat whatever you want during the holidays, and it's okay because you can join this gym membership that you probably won't continue going to come January. If you're going to make a lifestyle change, make it today. Don't wait until January. You know, I just say. Dragon fruit's bad too. That was my other thing I was going to say. Dragon fruit on sale for $6. Not worth it. Maybe if you live in a tropical climate where there are lots of plentiful dragon fruit. Now, I wanted to try a fresh jackfruit, but I haven't been able to find one. I'm on a quest to find one, but I haven't found one, you know? So I finally bought some new spoony spoons. Yay! Because I was using a whole bunch of spoons that we had left over from the pandemic that we ordered on Instacart. Okay, the funny thing that happened to my like all my flatware was it got used to scoop the litter box. Like I didn't do that, but like somebody said that it was easier to scoop the litter box with like flatware, and I'm like, what the heck with both forks and spoons? And I'm like, can you stop doing that? So I even bought the plastic ones. And I said, okay, if you think it's easier to scoop the litter box with flatware, use the plastic ones. But it didn't matter. They kept using the regular silverware, flatware. It's not real silverware. So I bought some on Amazon, and I don't know. I guess one of the complaints was the spoons were too big, but I kind of don't mind like a big spoon. Like it is kind of funny. Like it is really big. They are kind of big, but you know it kind of makes it easier, like to scoop things out. Like if you want to use a spoon to scoop something out, this. And I think I need to use up this almond butter, although I go through it pretty fast. I even go through tahini fast. Like people tell me that they can't use tahini before it goes bad, and I'm like, I'm using it in a week. Like I just love tahini. I have lots of thoughts about things. I think that's another reason people really failed on those those low fat diets, because they don't eat any fat. Like they're eating all like raw fruits and vegetables, and they don't eat any fat. I don't want you to feel hungry like all the time. Yeah, it's not rocket science. But common sense is not common. You know, I'm stressed not. It's like kiwis are kind of overrated. You know, I'm sure the kiwi fruit thinks it's amazing. I'm sure the kiwi fruit thinks that it's really good, but it's not. It's a fake fruit. Maybe it's like a fake friend. Anyway, I digress. I'm just having fun and being silly in the kitchen. I mean, it's not totally fake. It's just like a GMO, commercially grown fruit, like many other fruits that are commercially grown, and they just don't taste good to me. Like my mom had heirloom apple trees, and like even the offshoots from the apple tree. And then my neighborhood had these. Even though I don't like the peach skin, had these peach trees. Okay, and they just were from heirlooms. They weren't like these commercially grown. So like, I'm sorry, but fruit that's grown in season and locally just tastes better. It's just never gonna taste as good. So I'm sure like if you live in a climate where you have your own kiwi tree, yeah, it probably tastes great. So I just don't think that dragon fruit, kiwis, I like mango occasionally. I do like a mango. Like mangoes can be pretty good. But like papaya, there's just like certain fruits, like I feel like in that tropical climate, they taste much better. And I know the same is true with pineapple, because when I finally had a fresh pineapple in Hawaii, I'm like, this is what pineapple really tastes like. It's like delicious. It's so good. Mm. But it's okay to not like certain fruits. I feel like you can't always say that in a group of people though, because like with anything, like people have their opinions, right? But I feel like if you just want to be honest, it's okay. You don't have to just go along with what everybody else is saying is the best, just because that's so, you know? Those are my thoughts. No, I'm not going to buy a kiwi fruit to just be dissatisfied with it. Like I said, I tried one back in August and it wasn't very good. And then I had another one back in May that went like bad in my fridge. Like it had been in there for a little bit and got all mushy. I'm not gonna pay like $4 for a mushy piece of fruit that doesn't keep. And no, I'm not a fruitarian just because I'm eating fruit. Like some people would ask me, they'd be like, "Do you just eat fruit all day?" I'm like, I like fruit. I used to weigh a lot less when I ate more fruit, but I think the smoothies just really turned me off fruit. Like, occasionally a smoothie does sound good. Occasionally. But, lately I'm just like, nah, I'm even in the smoothie mood. Not really. But apples and almond butter, that's legit good. Look, I got some pomegranates in the almond butter. I wonder what that tastes like. Some of my new spoons are in the dishwasher. I don't want to open it, so I'll use one of the. It's pretty good. Oh no! Did I get cranberry juice? It's not cranberry. It's actually pomegranate. I almost thought, though, this is what I was kind of thinking. Just my thought. I thought it might be really good to make cranberry sauce, but with pomegranates. And it's good to add. I don't even think you want to add maybe commercial orange juice to it because my sister had a recipe for that. But I think the best way to make it, because you want a little bit of more acid to it to also kind of sweeten it, to bring out the flavors of either the pomegranate, if you made it with pomegranate, or with cranberries. I think a little bit of just like fresh orange juice, not like the kind, like if you just bought an orange and you kind of squeezed it in, that really doesn't. I think that would enhance the flavors. Just having fun. Oh no, you can't see me. Alonzi. By the way, this is a painting that I made of me, which I really like. And these are the Joshua Tree cats, which I painted back in 2016. And they weren't really a Joshua Tree, but there's a story behind them. So I've always loved photography. And I remember taking this picture, but my mom kind of had to remind me of it. I hadn't really thought about it, in a long time. But I'll show you. There's this picture that I took of Snoopy the cat and Ashberry, where they were actually it looked like they were kissing. And I turned it into a painting. So I just thought they were a very nice little couple of cats. And Ashberry was a very sweet little cat. And she actually was the mom of Bobby the cat. And Annie the cat, like the Manx cats that I used to film at my parents' house, she was their mom. And they thought maybe Snoopy was the father of one of the cats, Coco. It is so good, right? If you ever know somebody that has a pomegranate tree, totally you should make or cut up fresh pomegranate. It's so good. It's really, really good. Well, my mom's cats lived for 20 years because she took really good care of them. The average cat might live 10. It depends. I had a little black cat, Irina, and my goal was I wanted her to live a very long time, but something sad happened back in September 2020 when she passed away. It was just a very sad event, and that many cats can live up to 20 years. Not all the time, but they can if you take good care of them when they have the right environment to thrive. Yeah, it's a Tinkerbell sweater that my mom got me. It's very cute, isn't it? I like it. I have been wearing more sweaters lately because I'm not turning on the heater. It's finally warming up here, but as people in California, we're so funny. Like, it's been so hot in California that all of a sudden it got to be like cold, which isn't even cold. It's like 32 degrees or something in the early morning. Like, everywhere else, that's just a regular winter day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's cold because I'm used to the heat. We're just too heat dependent in my, like, where I live. It's not a cold place. I have to wipe up some stuff, but this is just a fun. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut up pomegranate. It's like kind of a long process though, so like I get why people buy it pre-cut at the store because it's messy and it takes a long time. But you kind of have to. I mean, this is what people used to do back in the day. You always have the grocery store. Sometimes you just had pomegranates if they were nearby and on your tree and in season. And yeah, but pomegranates grow really well in a Mediterranean climate. So California has like Southern California has like that perfect Mediterranean climate. So like a lot of Mediterranean fruits and vegetables do well here. Like some people have olive trees. You know, there's just certain trees that do really well in this climate, and a pomegranate tree would be a cool one. I wish I had an avocado tree. I'll tell you what's heresy. These people had an avocado tree, I heard, in town, and they didn't pick their avocados. They're so expensive at the store. And they were just letting the avocados rot like into the street. And I guess the ravens would come and they'd be eating the avocados that were dropping off the tree. It was just like, really? They're expensive. Like, but it's true. Like, I'm not saying like you have to do this, but sometimes if you have a neighbor that has a fruit tree and they don't pick it, you could ask. I mean, I don't think you have to do that, but they might not care. Like personally, some people might not care if they're not picking it, but they might not care if you picked some of the fruit off their tree or something, Oh no. I'm gonna have to wipe off the Pillsbury Doughboy figurine. He got some stuff on him. Oh, you guys have an apple tree? That's cool. I love apples, like homegrown ones. I know you're allergic though, but that's nice that you gave them to your neighbors. I don't like. I mean, the store I bought organic ones are okay, but I just feel like the homegrown ones always have better flavor. These are really good pomegranates. Like, they're so much more flavorful. So when I cut up all this pomegranate, it'll last me a few days, and this way I can actually. I wanted to use it up before. I knew I'd waited a long time. I probably should have done this last weekend, but I have been doing some big cleaning projects. Oh well, that's cool if you did it that time. And I think like In the UK, it's a better environment for apples. Like you can have apples. Well, like in Southern California, apple trees do better like in the mountains or maybe in parts of the country where it gets cooler. Like it's not, even though it gets cold in the winter in Southern California, we have a lot of heat. And I think some people do have apple trees down here in the valley, but they don't do quite as well. Like you just, the higher up you go in altitude, it's funny, by 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet is a completely different climate to where you get more rain, it's now more cool weather that's good for that type of tree. Yeah, they're both healthy. It's just like the thing I don't like about the kiwi is I was just thinking about this. Like the last time I bought one, it was all mushy and they're kind of not as flavorful as what I would like. Like people always tell me they taste really, really, really good. But I feel like with a pomegranate, you have more flavor. So I always am just like, it was like a joke. Like, are kiwis a fake fruit? Like, I know they're a real fruit, but it's just some commercially grown fruit. It's just not that tasty. Like, honestly, commercially grown tomatoes are just not as good. Like if you've ever grown tomatoes in your garden, or like my mom grows a lot of tomatoes and I got lucky, even when I buy organic ones, which are mega expensive, they just don't taste as good. Like I bought some the other day at Trader Joe, like heirloom tomatoes, and they just don't have that same flavor that a homegrown tomato has. But I stopped growing tomatoes on my patio. Like I used to do it a few years ago, but I stopped because I would only get a few tomatoes and you need a lot of sunlight. And I just don't have enough sunlight where I live at the moment. Like I keep wanting to move. Okay. So maybe eventually if I am up to 100,000 subscribers on my other channel, which I keep thinking, okay, I want to tell you guys right now, I think it's so disappointing that traffic's down. And I know people are going to be like, well, you need to just do this and do that and do that and do that and do that. Like, and you'll get more traffic. I tried a lot of that stuff. Okay. It just, when the traffic is down, like for things that used to, so, you know, I'm just like, okay, I want to make videos that I think are fun because obviously I like hair, but a lot of my hair content is like geared towards, you know, like, people have told me this is really like people want to see this. But I have to say one thing with hair content, I did stop making certain types of hair content that were super popular. Like people keep saying that I need to do more bun drops and stuff. But I don't wear my hair in a bun every day. And when I did, I didn't love it. Plus I was doing a lot of videos before I had cut my hair from knee length, you know, it was at upper calf length back up to like waist length. I was wearing my hair in buns like nonstop during that time period for like several months. I don't know if people noticed. So it might not have been bun drops, but they kept saying it wasn't the right kind of buns and it had to be this kind of bun. And nobody's going to come home and be like, oh, yes, I have my hair in just this bunny state and I'm going to release it and it's all going to go down like that. So I just, like, to me, even if certain things are what people want to see, I just don't think it's that interesting. Like, to me personally, like, I just don't feel that interested in making like 1,000 videos about bun drops or like, I don't know, like it's fun. It's beautiful. I enjoyed filming that content, but my life is not about just filming that one thing. There's so much more to life and hair than that. And I think long hair is beautiful. And that's why I call myself a long hair entertainment channel, like on my other channel, because it's just entertainment conversation for me. Like, I'm not DIY. Like, I know some people, they do a lot of DIY videos, but honestly, my thoughts about this are this. Yeah, it's amazing. I have a lot of subscribers. I stopped working on this channel a long time ago because that channel was growing, and it still is. I mean, I don't mean to sound ungrateful. It's really cool. But a lot of the content that I make on this channel is more like speaking to my heart, like just wanting to do live streams about any topic or share an art project or cooking and things like that. This is the kind of stuff that, like, I love long hair. I really, really do. But I want to be able to talk about other topics too. So I kind of had a revival on this channel. It's great. It's really good. But I just, but I have to kind of, I mean, I guess I could just not discuss like my thoughts on the long hair genre. But on my other channel, I definitely consider myself a long hair entertainment channel and not tutorial and DIY, because I do things a certain way that is just intuitive to me. And I can't say that the way I do things. Yeah, thank you. This channel is more about me and who I am. Like, if you want to see who I am, like, I posted videos on here for a long time. You could go back to 2008 and see videos from here. Like, I've been on YouTube since the beginnings, people, since the very long time. Back when it was like 240p and all that. Like, yeah, some old videos that are kind of fun if you ever want to look at them and check it out. But YouTube's kind of changed along the way too. It's kind of become like a professional video platform, whereas in the beginning it was just like people uploading. Like, that happens in every platform though, right? Yeah, I have old videos like going back to, but I wasn't as active back then. Okay, like, if you go back, you'll see a lot of old videos on this channel. You can watch a lot of different things I posted over the years. Like, but yeah, I would say, I'm not saying they're the best videos, but I have some old, like, some of my earliest videos are actually starting to get more views, like some art projects I made, like a little card I made for my nephew. Like, there's just some cool stuff that I posted on there. So you can always go back and watch it if you're interested, if you're so inclined. They have to take all the white parts of the pomegranate out. I don't, because I don't know. I tried tasting this part before. And it's not quite as tasty. I'm interested in many different things. Like, that's the thing. I'm very multifaceted. I love art, history, music. Like, I was even talking to my friend, like, and I love my friend the other day, and I was telling her like how I'm into painting, and she goes, "Oh, like, this was just her reaction." I totally get. She goes, "Why do people want to paint? Isn't that just something they do when they're retired or something?" And I don't understand that way of thinking. Like, okay, this is my thought about it. I always wanted to paint, draw, and do like hobbies and things like that in my free time, because I thought, why would I wait until I'm almost dead to do something I enjoy? Wouldn't I want to spend my time doing things I enjoy all the time? Like, actually, and there are people that do art as a profession, and I just feel like it's kind of, I didn't want to tell my friend this, but it just felt kind of insulting in a way. And I love her, but we definitely have different opinions on things. Like, she also told me that about books. She thought that, like, just sitting and reading a book was a waste of time too. Like, she thought that, which is interesting. I know a lot of people, they went to college, they have degrees, but they think if you read anything just for interest, to learn something on your own, that it's a waste of time. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, so they want to be really successful in their careers. Or they're the type of people that they want to, like, be go-getters in their career. But, like, in her case, she just thinks that cooking is a better hobby because you can consume it. But I'm like, I feel like there's a place for all hobbies, and I don't think you should wait until you're retired to do something that you enjoy, because, like, why don't you just do it today? Like, I feel the same way about clothing. Like, some people would be like, oh, I can't wear this dress, like, that I really love, that I feel like would make me feel good about myself until I have somewhere important to go. But I never really agreed with that. I just thought, you know what? I'm going to wear this dress that I want to wear today. And I was like, well, I've always worn dresses anyway, but some of the evolution of my wardrobe was I started discovering I really loved like the kind of 1950s silhouette, and I just think it looks like kind of a modern take on it, and I really love it. So I started buying a lot of dresses like that, and I just really loved it. And like under some people's thinking in modern casual California society, they think you can only wear a dress like if you're going to a special event, and they want to wear pants like all the time. And I don't care if other people want to wear pants like all the time. I wear leggings when I'm at home, but if I go out, I like to wear a dress. And I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I can't wear a dress because women think other women shouldn't wear dresses in modern times. I'm like, that is just as judgmental as back when men told women that they only could wear dresses. I'm like, you know what? Some things have just become so tribal. It's funny though. Yeah, exactly. If you don't enjoy life today, I feel sorry for you. And that's where I kind of think like if there's ever something that kind of gets you down a bit, don't spend too much time thinking about it. That was another thing I was telling my friend. This is why I value her so much. Though, because she makes a good point. She goes, you don't spend too much time being upset about something. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I can be disappointed about something, okay? And think one of thoughts, but if a person, place, or thing like disappointed me, it wasn't meant to be. So I don't spend a lot of my life being sad about that thing, because just move on to something that's better. Like I personally think that's the best use of your time. I don't see no point of dwelling on things that are going to make you feel bad. And I like to do things that make me feel good, but and I don't think that you can find it outside of yourself. Okay, I think you need to find it within yourself. That's why I've always been like a truth seeker, looking for things that make me feel good within myself, that make me feel like I'm happy, like I'm content, like this is what I want to do with my time. I need to look for it within myself. And I think everybody should do that. Like, I feel like, okay, if you're hoping, like, look, okay, the pandemic sucks and all that stuff. It sucks, it sucks, it sucks. But there's always been some event in the headlines that they're going to make us feel bad about. And I'm not saying, like, I personally am just like, so what are you as a person going to do to change that? Like, you can't really change, like, society as a whole. But as a person, what can you do that you enjoy? So to me, like, painting has never, like, felt like a waste of my time. I know my friend was like, well, why do you like to paint? Like, why do you like to draw? I'm like, I like to do it because it's a creative art and it makes your life feel more enriching. And to me, as time goes by, enriching experiences are so much more gratifying than, I don't know, just spending my free time only going to the beach or something. Like, I like the beach, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I just want to do things that make me feel gratified in the moment. And it also has good long-term effects because, you know, you are investing your time and you're creating things that you can look back on and there's good memories. And you have to be in control of your own good memories, because if you rely on anybody else or anything else to create your good memories, you won't have any. So if you want good memories, if you want to have like a good mindset, like I say, you need to forget the things that are fake or the things that are disappointing in life, and you need to move on to things that are more gratifying in life. You just do, in my little opinion. But that's just my little opinion. You can do whatever you want. I'm not gonna let some headlines make me feel sad all the time, because they were doing that 100 years ago. They've always been doing that. It's sensationalism. It's the news. I'm not telling you that the world's perfect. It's never been. But if you're living in America or the UK or Australia, you're probably better off than refugees in war-torn Syria. Like, comparatively, like, just think about it. Like, I think most people, if they're in a situation where they're not living into some war torn country, why are we like feeling sad and depressed and anxious all the time? Because I don't know, it sells a story, because it promotes something. Like, that's why I consume a lot less. Like, I think it's good to know about what's happening in the world, and I love history, but I don't want to consume it through like this lens of the moment, because people will sensationalize everything. Okay, there will be sensational take on every single thing that's happening right now, and I'm not saying, oh, it's all good and everything's fine. It's not that. I'm just like, well, just be safe. Like, don't go out and party. Like, use your common sense. Like, just be safe. Like, you know. And even like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have said go out and party if you just are more of a homebody. Like, I can't tell the party set and crowd what to do. I'm more of a homebody. Like, I do go places, but I don't. Like, I'm happy being at home cutting up my pomegranate. You know, I'm happy with that. I don't need to like always be out in the social scene. So, you know, my pomegranate's quite fun actually to cut up, but quite messy. It's very messy indeed. Ah, messy, 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 messy. Boop, boop, boop. A fist full of pomegranates. Boop, boop, boop. Once you've taken all the seeds out of your pomegranate, you know you've done a lot of work. Anyhow, my little friendly friends, thank you. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think if you don't want to be depressed, you kind of have to take charge of your own life. And I don't really agree that you do it just by reading self help books or just going to, like, I know there's a lot of I'm not like anti self help, but I think like if you do things that bring you joy, but maybe I'm the wrong person to ask, because I find that when I start doing things that make me happy, I get in the zone and I feel really good. Like, I've never, like, here's the thing, I've never really suffered from depression. So I might be the wrong person to ask. Like, if you suffer from depression, you probably do need to go to therapy. But I don't know. Like, I just find like when I start doing fun things, like that makes me feel good and I get that gratification. So I've never suffered from depression. Like, or long-term depression and things. So to me, I just feel like, but I know some people say they feel like they can't get out of bed and that they've lost hope. Like, I've heard that. I just have never experienced that, you know? I just haven't, because I feel like life is such an amazing gift. But also my mother kind of taught me that too, because like she went through things that were really hard when she was a kid, but she ended up always being really happy and loving gardening and just loving being a mom and living in the mountains. And she did not have an easy childhood. Okay, like she said, she goes, you know what, I could have been depressed, is what she said. She said I could have felt really bad about some things that happened. Like, her life was not easy. Okay, like if I told you things that my mom had to do, like when other kids were growing up in 1960 suburbia, you'd be like, oh my gosh, like those are the differences. But that was like if your mom passes away and you're like a parent and somebody marries a new person that might not like she just dealt with so many things. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how she dealt with all that, but she goes, I made a choice. I wanted to be happy. Like my mom has always imparted that to me. She goes, because it's a choice. Like how you choose to react to situations is a choice. And I know a lot of people might not agree with that, but I do believe at the end of the day, you can make a choice, okay, about how you want to react to certain situations. But that's just our view on things. I can't tell you how other people view things. But my mom is like, she's not fake positive, but she's one of the most actually positive people that I know, because she just always is doing things that she enjoys. And she's never been like, she wasn't one of those moms that was worried about like her weight or Weight Watchers or like, and she actually is really skinny now just by doing things that she likes to do. She's really healthy by gardening and doing things she likes to do, just naturally eating healthy. Like she didn't like chase all these things that and I'm not trying to put other people down. Like maybe that sounds like I'm putting other people down. Do whatever you want. If following the trends makes you feel good, then do it. But I want you to think like, who sets these trends? Who creates these trends? And why are you following them like a zombie? Like maybe it's just time to wake up and stop being a zombie, because I feel like a lot of people are catatonic in this lifetime and they cannot just wake up and like realize that you can find happiness in small things. Like you really can. You don't have to be like a little zombie walking through life. You just don't. Like I don't care what it is, as long as it's something that's healthy and legal. I'm not like advocating like chain smoking and like, I don't know, being a prostitute. I'm not advocating that. Don't do that. But if it's a healthy and happy activity and hobby, like there is nothing wrong with that. Like not everybody wants to be a brain surgeon. Newsflash, I never aspired to be a brain surgeon. So to me, if I like to spend my time painting, that's great. I don't have to feel like I have to defer that until later in life. That's just where I deviate from my friend. She's a very accomplished, successful woman. I really respect her, but she kind of doesn't think hobbies are something that people should spend time on. I guess, that's just her view. Everybody has different views on these things, but at the end of your life, how you spend your life is going to have a lot to do with how you choose to spend it. So you kind of have to make those choices for yourself, That's just my take on it. And I think a lot of things that just seem really difficult, like some people are like, I'm going through a lot of things, like this is a hard time in my life. I think sometimes you need to maybe, I don't believe in like minimalism, like for objects, but I think when it comes to things that you put your time into, like more minimalistic, smaller group of friends, like less social outings, less gatherings. I think maybe the smaller your group, the more you devote to things you truly care about, the better your mindset. But that's just my take on it. Anyway, thanks for watching.